4 teams in the Northwest Division made the postseason last year, and 4 teams separated by 3 wins. Will it be that close again here in 2010-2011? Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horwitz, glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com as we preview the Northwest Division, and glad to have the team. CBSSports.com senior NBA writer Ken Berger, CBS Sports' Ian Eagle, also the voice of the New Jersey Nets. And Ian, last year of those 4 playoff teams, Oklahoma City had the lowest seed. They were 8. Are they the best team now in the division?
I don't want to beat around the bush here. Yes, they are. They're the best team in the division, and it is a blueprint on how to build a team. Excellent coaching, Scott Brooks. The fact of the matter is they had a plan. They were able to implement that plan, and they've got maybe, I know it's scary to say this, but maybe after his performance in the World Basketball Championship, the most gifted player in the NBA in Kevin Durant. He has developed quickly, and he's all business. He's focused on being the best player that he can be. He's not interested in the nightlife. He's not interested in anything that will take him out of becoming the best player in the NBA. And that's what you're looking for when you're building franchises, not just talent, but dedication. Durant's got it. This team has got it. I think they're ready to take that next step.
He's certainly an MVP candidate. I mean,
yes.
One of the top 2 or 3 guys. Here's what I hope doesn't happen to Oklahoma City. It was a great story for them to kind of take everybody by surprise. Now all of a sudden they have to take that next step. It's a little bit different when people are expecting you to do things. When the opponent knows more about you and respects what you do, it's going to be more difficult for them. But I agree with Ian. I think they are ready. Last year I thought was a year too early. They exceeded my expectations. I think they'll do that again this year.
What about the other 3 teams in the Northwest Division, Ken, that made the playoffs? Who stands out to you either positively or negatively between Portland, Denver, and Utah?
Well, Denver's got issues. Number one, they're not healthy. They don't have, Chris Anderson and Kenyon Martin are not healthy and won't be for a while. Carmelo Anthony is not happy and won't be for a while. And, Chauncey Billups is standing there saying, what did I come here for? This thing is kind of falling apart underneath my feet. They are a team that's really in need of getting off to a good start. And if they don't, the Carmelo situation can really spiral, and there's no guarantee that Denver's going to get as good a deal or as good an offer as they had with the 4-team trade that fell apart with New Jersey. So, I think there's a lot of anxiety in that Denver front office to try to get this right from the very first few weeks of the season.
And Denver lost to Utah, Ian, in the first round of the playoffs. You called one of those postseason games. Utah's a team that looks a little different this season. No more Carlos Boozer, but do you like what they've done here in the offseason?
The positive for Utah, they've got the best point guard in the NBA. Darren Williams has established himself as such. I really believe that right now. The negative, and it depends on how you look at it, they lose Carlos Boozer, they get Al Jefferson, so they get a legitimate replacement. The only issue I have with Jefferson, we don't know if he can be a winner in the NBA. That's the one aspect. He's put up big numbers, he got the big contract. He's never done it on a winner, and that's what we're going to find out from him. He's a player that should fit their system, should be able to do some of the things that Carlos Boozer did, but I think Boozer was more of a leader, a quiet leader in that locker room than people may have given him credit for, and now Al Jefferson is going to be asked to do some of that as well. We're going to find out. They lost some other key players, too. I think the loss of Corver, the loss of Wes Matthews, that's a much bigger loss than some people may have thought because it got lost in the shuffle amidst this busy NBA offseason. He was a good player for that team, just a solid Jerry Sloan type player that they no longer have.
Yeah, very solid guy, but Portland overpaid for him. Let's not make a mistake about that. But Al Jefferson, it really is sink or swim time for him. And if anybody can bring it out of him, that whatever it is that's missing, it's Jerry Sloan. If it doesn't come out this year, it never will.
You mentioned Portland. What do you expect out of the Blazers this season?
They have some question marks. They're still waiting for Greg Oden to arrive. Will the real Greg Oden stand up or do something? And he hasn't yet, and it's been sad to watch. And at some point, if you make a mistake with a pick that high, it's not something you can recover from. Everybody hopes for the sake of the kid that he can turn it around and be productive, but it sure hasn't looked good so far.
Yeah, with Portland, I think Nate McMillan's going to be under some pressure. I really do. And this is a team that thought they were going to be vying for conference championships at this stage, and their growth and their evolution has been stilted a bit because of injuries and just chemistry issues as well. Not really sure what to make of Portland when the smoke clears. Yeah. This could be a rougher year than anticipated in their development.
Having Marcus Camby at the beginning of the season, in case Oden can't play, certainly helps at least secure that spot.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with the Trailblazers. All right, Ian, acquisition in this division that'll make the biggest impact?
Well, it's Al Jefferson. It has to be, because Utah was a very good team. They lose Boozer. They're plugging in a player that they anticipate can give them some of the things that Boozer gave. If Utah is going to maintain a high level of play, Al Jefferson is going to have to be a guy that gives them quality minutes, and really they're looking for him to be an all-star. We'll find out if he can do it.
Ken, what about the rookie that'll make the biggest impact in the division?
Well, we haven't touched on Minnesota for obvious reasons, but they have a player I really like in Wesley Johnson. The problem there is the roster is so ill-conceived that I don't really see how he's going to get the time to develop this year. So it's a little hard to say how much of an impact he's going to have. He certainly has the talent. He's got all-star talent. I feel bad for him that he's in Minnesota, that's all.
I don't know what their plan is. I think that's the general feeling around the NBA. Nobody seems to know what it is they're trying to do. We've talked about Oklahoma City and Memphis. I don't know what Minnesota's doing right now.
They're taking the best players from Syracuse, and they're moving them to Minnesota, and they're making the connection with Johnny Flynn and Wesley
Jerry
Johnson.
McNamara is available.
Yeah, well, he's an assistant coach, so you pull him off, let him get some
shoot it.
three-pointers. All right, for more on the Northwest Division, keep it right here on CBSSports.com. For Ken Berger and Ian Eagle, I'm Jason Horowitz. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, folks.